Illustrator. I'll make it big there. We can see this is the area we're going to be working on. So I'm going to get the magnifying tool and I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit. The key parts, obviously the outside shape, which is going to be cut. There's 4 circles for the location pins and this neck here. Now this is where the molten pewter is going to come into, and then our badge will be created in this space here. So we need to find the file for that, or we need to create the file for that. So we need to go to Photoshop and we need to open up the file of the photo that you've taken previously. Now I've got a lovely photo of Mr. Ross here, so I'm going to click and open that. I'm going to get the magnifying glass and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so I can see more clearly what's going on. Now the first thing I need to do is to select the outline of Mr. Ross. So I'm going to use this tool here, the quick selection tool. At the top here there's a couple of things that are quite important. There's the tolerance or the size, and I want to change that to about 30. So there we are, 30. And this is the plus or minus button. So as I'm going to be adding, I need to select the plus. And I simply click on an area of Mr. Ross, hold my mouse down, the left mouse down, and move it around to add additional areas. So this is working pretty well. And I keep clicking to add additional areas. Like that. Now you'll have spotted that we've actually missed out or a little bit up here, so we can add that in. And we've also got some stuff down here that we don't want, so I'm going to go to the minus button, click in there to take out the bits we don't want, and we can make small adjustments if we need to by using the plus and minus buttons. Once I'm happy that I've got the shape that I want, I need to fill that in. The easiest way to do that is to simply go Layer, New, Layer. Layer 1 is fine. Over here you can see that I can see both layers, so if I click the eye tool on the background, that goes away and all I can now see is my selection. I come get my paint bucket tool and I simply fill in the selection. So we've now got that outline that we want. We copy it, edit copy, and now we go across to Illustrator. And I'm going to paste it into Illustrator. Okay, and that's coming really, really large, so I just need to get my magnifying glass. If I hit down ALT, you can see it change from a plus to a minus. The minus allows me to zoom out. So I come out all the way, and we see what we've ended up with. The Mr. Ross file is very, very large, so with the black arrow, I adjust the size of that. So it's approximately the size that I want, and I move it up. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in again, and again make that a little bit smaller. So it's roughly the size that we want it to be. Now, if we have our badge too large, too near these edges, or too near the circles, then the mould's going to be too big and it's not going to cut. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger, and I'm being careful to keep the proportions roughly the same, so that the design doesn't end up too wide or too narrow, but just about right. It's very important that the head also is in line with what we call the throat above, so that the metal can flow down into it. The minute we can't cut because that's a solid shape, so we need to make some changes. So at the top I click Image Trace, and then once that's complete the button changes to expand. I click expand, and now you can see from these blue areas around the outside we've got a shape we can work with. We need first of all to remove the black, so I come across here. This is the colour fill, and I want no fill, so that's a white square with a red stripe. That's perfect. Now I need to change the outline, or stroke as it's known. So I click here and I click on red, because it's red for cutting in this program, very important. One last thing is we need to get the line size right for the laser cutter to work. So you actually click in here, you delete what's there, and we click 0.001. So 0.001. Very important you get that correct. Now, we're nearly there. The only thing we need to do is to remove these unnecessary lines around the outside, otherwise they're going to cut as well, and that could damage our design. So I now click on the white arrow, and I click on that path I don't want, I click delete, and there's just this one little part down the bottom which I don't want. delete, and now we're done. We have our design complete and ready to cut. So if I zoom back out, again by clicking ALT, you can see where we are. We just need to save that to our desktop, and I'm going to title it Mr. Ross. Save that to my desktop. Now we're complete, ready to go and laser cut our file.